Many are shocked that it actually happened. But one Canadian author, Chris Kutarna, predicted that Brexit would happen in his book. We're going to show it to you. Age of Discovery is the name, and he joins us right now from Regina. Chris, good morning to you. Thanks for this.
Good morning, Todd. Thanks for this, too.
You know, a lot of people were wondering if and when this would actually happen. You said it was just a matter of time.
That's right. I mean, so the book attempts to take a step back, really, and make sense of a shocking time we live in. We've just seen another shock happen. And so my author and I made a number of predictions in the book and in the press about what's likely to happen next. Brexit was one of those.
What is going to happen next? Because there are so many uncertainties right now, as you know, Chris. Nobody knows exactly how this is all going to play out. It's never been done before. A lot of anger in the UK. What do you think is going to happen now in the weeks and months to come?
Right. Well, I mean, so if you adopt my perspective, which is that we're in another age of discovery, and Brexit has a lot of parallels to the Protestant Reformation, which is the revolution, political and religious, that Martin Luther launched 500 years ago next year, which broke Europe into Catholic and Protestant halves, which didn't tell us that Brexit had to happen, but certainly made it easier for us to imagine that it could happen. And if you continue that metaphor forward, the Protestant Reformation, breaking Europe up religiously and politically, it was catastrophic in a number of ways. There was a silver lining, which is that people suddenly realized in Rome and in other European capitals that this monolithic institution that they had always grown up with and whose problems they felt were simply too great to be dealt with could be radically reshaped. And so I think people waking up this morning in the capitals of Europe, one thing they absolutely do believe now is that the EU can be radically reshaped. It does have deep structural issues, but now I think there's a strong belief that they can solve them, that they're going to have to solve them. And that's, I think, a dramatic positive development just in the past week.
Now, the British, of course, always had one foot in, one foot out, as you know, and a difficult relationship with Europe, so perhaps not all that surprising that this was the country to trigger this. Do you think, though, Chris, that the European Union as a project is now mortally wounded, that other countries will look at what the UK did and say, hey, hold on a second, if they can leave, we can leave?
Well, I think, again, let's take some perspective and look in history. Was Christianity mortally wounded because Martin Luther broke the Catholic Church into Protestant and Catholic halves? I mean, no. I mean, in some ways, it rejuvenated Christianity and Christian values for the next 500 years because people realized that if there were aspects of that institution that they did value, that they couldn't just take the status quo for granted, that they were going to need to reaffirm what was good and important about it every generation. So I don't believe that the EU is destined now to fall apart. I really do believe that its destiny is in the hands of everyone in Europe today who sees how fragile the status quo is, who still believe, a lot of people still believe that there are positives to be pulled out of a connected and open Europe. And it's up to them now to demonstrate to the wider European public that those positives are going to reach them.
Chris Kutarna joining us live from Regina. Good to have you on today, Chris. Important
My
story.
pleasure, Todd.
Thank you for this.